Hello, Darth Vader fans. So there's a couple of characters that I seem to be collecting a lot recently. It's Darth Vader and Boba Fett. It's because I was a kid when Star Wars came out. I was probably like 6 years old or something when it first came out. Anyways, I was an impressionable child, and I played with all the Mattel Kenner toys and all that stuff. But now I get to relive a cartoon version through this brand here, Beast Kingdom, and the Egg Attack series. So this thing has some problems. I bought it at a used shop, and it was very cheap, less than the retail price, more than half of the retail price. And if it was new, it would cost a lot, So I'm willing to make this a project. Let's take a look at this box though, just here. It is licensed by Disney here. So this is the holographic version. 26 movable joints, some sort of LED and sound effect in the chest. Interesting. Didn't know that. Okay. Extra hands. Comes with a stand. Alright, just a clear plastic stand. This vacuum form has to go. There's a bag. Couple bags, a couple extra pieces. So there's a blue lightsaber hilt and a blue lightsaber blade with the metal piece, so that's kind of neat. I think it can hang off of his belt, without the blade on, which kind of makes sense because he's a hologram, right? He wouldn't be running a lightsaber in a hologram, I think. So we have two fists here, a grabby hand, and like a force choking hand or something, so that's pretty neat. So let's see here. So the first problem I noticed is, look at this cape. I don't know when this series first came out, but obviously it's old because the cape is a disaster here. So I'm going to try to just take this guy's head off. Maybe this was displayed before. I'm afraid this thing is gonna break. The ball joint, I can see it up in there. Boy. Yeah, it's really sketchy right there. Okay. Alright, so that's why I should have removed it, because any sort of lights that were in there, I've now torn it. I guess I could try to fix it later, but you also notice the eyes are messed up here. It's interesting. Yeah, alright, well, that light up feature is totally gone. Yeah, I don't know why, but if you look at his eye here, it's just like a horizontal rectangle on this eye. Well, this is more like a vertical rectangle on this eye, so I don't understand why they would have molded it that way. It just makes no sense. It also appears that this eye has a bunch of cracks in it, so that's no good. But I kind of knew this when I opened it up, and that's why it was also dirt cheap. I intend to just paint this whole thing black and just bring it back to a normal Darth Vader, which if you look on eBay, a regular black Egg Attack Darth Vader is quite expensive, so that's what I'm going to do here. Alright, so there's a dumbbell ball joint here for the neck. And this cloth cape is pretty nice, actually. It's blue, but I think I'm going to just try to dye it black. Maybe I'll just spray paint it black. And then, yeah, I'm just going to spray paint this whole body as well. So let's see about this belt here. I think this can probably come off here. It's like a flexible rubber, this hook here, so let's see. Come on. Maybe it's just a peg. Yeah, alright, so the belt is just a peg. Alright, so I'm going to just paint that black and add some silver, some extra colors and stuff. I'll have to look at some reference photos. This cape, or a robe, I guess this is a robe. So the robe is actually pretty nice. Look at this nice stitching here, right? They actually have it stitched to make the waist a little bit thinner. so it conforms to the body more, and is pleated here as well in the back. So very, very well done. Okay. Yeah, the cape, obviously, whatever material they used, it just wasn't meant to last. Some sort of... It's a little stretchy, you know, so I guess it's some kind of rubber. But rubber oxidizes and hardens, just like car tires, right? So that's exactly what happened here. But I'm going to just try to make a template, use this as a template, and make a black cloth cape. And I'll probably even just reuse this wire, because this wire is probably meant to bend for a long, you know, repeatedly. It just looks like it's a half circle, really. So that hopefully won't be too hard. Alright, let's see about the construction of this guy here. No, I'm going to just cut that cable off. I'm going to pop the head back on so we can see what kind of poses we can get this guy into. Alright. It's very comical, right? The joints do seem a bit loose, so I'm going to guess, you know, this was played with a bunch by someone else. There's also like a lot of residue in the joints here. They may have put some sort of a floor polish or something to tighten up the joints. But here we have a rotating joint here at the shoulder, and then there's a hinge here for the hand, and then the hand cuff here rotates around the pivot for the hand. It's a ball joint here for the hand, or dumbbell joint, really. I don't know if this comes off. I can't, well, it's very interesting. This is a hinge, and then there's a ball peg here, and then that choky hand. Oh, interesting. I didn't even notice the shoulder here actually butterflies in and out. So, hold on here. I'll push it in. Yep, pull it out. So that's cool. It's a... I've never seen a... I guess it's not a butterfly. It acts like a butterfly, but it's just a round ball joint socket that pulls out. It doesn't actually flex like a shoulder blade, you know, like in a butterfly pattern. But it works. So that's pretty cool. Alright, get a lot of movement there, a lot of different posability. Alright, so lower torso. Oh, I see. Well, the batteries are totally dead. There's an on-off switch. Turned it on, but no LEDs are coming on, so that's too bad. I guess I'll have to try to put some batteries in there and see if this chest thing lights up. It looks like there's an LED right there. Okay, so here we have the hip, a couple pegs, ball pegs. So the ball peg actually does pivot, you can see, and then the thigh pivots on that ball. So that works, pretty neat. And then there's a hinge here. You can actually see, you know, the joint in there, but it's a double hinge, it seems. Yeah, the lower hinge there, and then this top knee. Oh, well, will it flex? Maybe it won't. It looks like it would. I can see a circle right there, and yeah, there are pieces right there. Like yeah, it's definitely a hinge, but it's so tight. I don't know. I'm not sure if I want to force it. Let's try on this leg. Yeah, I don't... Oh, there it goes. So, that's maximum bending right there. So that's actually pretty good for posability. Look at that. Pretty neat. Darth flying there. Let's try to bend it forward all the way. Alright, just get a little high step action. This is my first egg attack. I'm new to this brand. I really don't collect figures all too often. There's a hinge here for the toe. Alright. So it's quite nice, you know, to be able to see everything transparent, to really see the workings of this figure. So I think it's neat. But I'm gonna, as I say, paint this. Well, you know what? Should I paint it black? I'm not sure. It has this interesting look about it. Here's the shoulder armor, and there's a little bit of a flexible fabric holding the shoulder pads on. Yeah, still though, the eyes really throw me off. You know, that horizontal rectangle versus a vertical rectangle. I just don't understand the logic as to why they would have done that. It's very strange. I almost feel like the LEDs in the eyes were missing as well. So that might be another reason why it was so inexpensive. If you look in here, I don't see any LEDs. So where does this guy light up, I wonder? The cable went in there, but I don't see anywhere for that cable to come out. So if anything, there was an LED up in the middle of this thing, and maybe the entire head glows. There weren't actually LEDs in the lights in the eyes in the first place. Very, very interesting. Okay, the construction of toys. Seems like this is a separate piece here as well. You can see the joint there, the seam. Doesn't want to come out though. It might be glued in place there. Alright. Let's see if we can get this guy's hand around this. Alright, so it gets around the lightsaber, no problem. Well, I think he definitely needs a cape for sure. Pretty interesting. All right, well, let's come back and see what I end up doing. All right, so I'm back and I did a few modifications. Before I forget, I thought I'd just share how tall this guy is. He's around 180 millimeters, a little over 7 inches tall or something. Okay. I'm also realizing the stand is missing the tongs to hold the guy, but I find that these stands are almost worthless on almost every brand of action figure anyways. They're just not strong. They're just made of cheap, not enough material really to actually hold a heavy figure. Unless the stand is actually made of metal, it's generally not going to work, so I'm not too concerned about that. Also, I'm realizing this thing doesn't have any sort of audio system. I actually tore the thing apart. The entire electrical system was like, well, you saw me destroy it, but the battery contacts were all corroded away. So I just decided to rewire the whole thing anyways, because it only had one white LED here, and then one white LED at the top of the head there. So I have a bunch of 3-volt LEDs laying around, and for now I just actually have a cable coming out of them, and I have a miniature RC drone. It's a 3.7 volt battery just powering this in here. Later on I'll put some batteries in there again. I just didn't have any of those watch batteries available. So, you know, the eyes, the way they were designed before, they did that so the manufacturer, the factory, could put the left and right eye in without confusion. That's the reason why. But it looked weird. So, and it was also cracked as you saw. So I ended up painting them black, and then I put some red LEDs behind those eyes, although I couldn't get the alignment 100% perfect either. But it's alright for now, I guess. And so I have a green and a blue LED here in this control box instead of that one white one. And then I have a blue LED up where that original white one used to be, so it helps illuminate the head there. So I think it works out pretty well. The cape, you know, I just happen to have an old golf shirt, and the blue of it matches pretty close to the blue of the plastic, I think. It's not quite the same as this inner robe, but it works. It works well enough. I'm not going to go out and buy fabric for an action figure. It is a bit of a coarse material, but oh well. I'm working with what I have here. I did add a chain as well. I hand sewed a chain to the cape here. So here's the guy without the you know, helmet on. So yeah, there was a white LED up in here originally, and it makes sense because, you know, if he's supposed to look like this hologram, he wants to be illuminated. It might not make sense that he has black eyes, but again, I'd rather have black eyes than a bunch of cracked blue plastic. And so let me turn this thing off. The switch was actually bad also. It has a hard time actually staying on without some fidgeting. And also, design-wise, it's kind of hard to actually find the switch here behind all this fabric. Where is it? Yeah, I don't even... I'm trying to turn this guy off. There we go. So with the lights off, you know, he just has black eyes. So I think it works out pretty well. I used the original cape as a template to, you know, take the original wire and sew up a new half circle, and so it works pretty well. Let's get this guy in a more casual position and drape his cape over him. So yeah, wired capes are great. They really help hold the shape there. Alright, so that is my holographic Darth. Let's pull out a couple other Darth Vaders I've collected here. I have this copycat Bandai Figure Arts. It's not a real Bandai Figure Arts, it's just a knockoff copy I got off AliExpress. And I used a, those sunglasses, wiping cloths, you know, I had some sunglasses that came with this cloth, so I used that to make the capes. The original one just had like a plastic cape and it, you know, it couldn't conform to the body very well. So for a knockoff, this is actually a pretty cool Darth Vader. You can get much better posing, much more realistic. So that's a 6-inch figure, or 1/12 scale. And then I have this chubbiness fat Darth Vader. I got it at a used toy shop. I don't really know much of it, but on the base it says Wolves World, and it also says 2014, made in China. So it gives an idea how old it is. This is not the original lightsaber. That thing was lost apparently. So I took an old paintbrush and a black washer, and then I just spray painted it, you know, red and black, and it works because this guy isn't a really realistic figure, anyways. But I love this guy. I mean, I love hard shell tacos. I love Darth Vader, and I'm a little overweight myself, so I can relate to this guy. So that one's cool. Alright. So the last one is a Hero Cross, and I've done a review of this one in my poor reviewing skills, but this is a great figure, I think. It actually has like a metallic frame and then plastic parts covering it, but the cape is really nice. You know, the inner robe is okay. This cape is also wired as well. And it's quite a difference in size. I wasn't aware that these egg attacks are so tall. That's why I pulled out the ruler there before. So, for you Darth Vader fans, which of these do you like the most? The realistic, the fat guy, small comic look, big comic look? It's a tough call. I don't know. I'm actually swaying either towards small comic look or a fat guy. Even though fat guy has absolutely zero articulation. Nothing. He's just a vinyl figure. His head doesn't even spin from what I can see. It's just a totally static model. But you know, these guys all have articulation, so. Alright guys, well I guess that's it for today's Darth Vader video. I'll probably collect a few more Darths from other brands, and I guess I'll see you then. Alright, thanks.